And so just give us a brief background of who you are, what you do, and how you got started with Total Report is her business name. So
Thank you, Tanya, and thank you for having me.
absolutely.
So, for those who don't know, I have been a pediatric occupational therapist since 2009. I graduated from the University of Southern California with my master's. And since then, I've been working in a variety of different settings: schools, clinics, skilled nursing facilities. I was the director of rehab, so, gaining some management experience. And then my last job before COVID was at an outpatient Stanford clinic, and I absolutely loved it. I had no idea that I would be doing what I'm doing today. I had no intentions of leaving it. I thought, this is going to be it. I'm going to be here for the long haul. And then, of course, COVID happened in March 2020. So my son is actually at risk. He has asthma and he's younger. He's only 4. So at the time, he was about 2.5. And I had to stay home to care for him. And my daughter is 6. So both of them were home with me. And I didn't have an option. I didn't have childcare. So I had to quit my job, and it was extremely hard for me because I loved what I was doing. I loved my team and I just saw myself there long term. And I loved all the changes that I was making. But of course, life had other plans. And I was now a stay at home mom, and I, wasn't really going into work. But I think that's inherently just part of being an OT, that itch to want to make that change in the world, to do something. So I was itching to use my knowledge and use all this experience that I had in some way. I wanted to put it to some use. I didn't just want to sit and let it all rust. And, you just want to be in touch with the profession in some way. And so I started thinking of what I could do, something that I could do from the comfort of my home, where I wouldn't have to worry about, leaving my kids, and I would have the flexibility to do it when I wanted to. And that's how Total Report was born. The idea for Total Report came because I just felt like documentation was um, it is such a need for therapists to learn the right way to document. It's not something that is taught to us in depth in school. And even if it is, I don't think you can cover all the different settings. So, especially, I think the experience of working in all these different settings gave me more of an advantage because I knew exactly what's needed where.
Mm-hmm. And you do mostly pediatric resources at this time, correct?
Yes. At the time, yes. So I do have experience in adult rehab as well, but my forte is definitely pediatrics.
Are you planning on expanding your templates and your documentation resources to other ages and stages or contexts, or are you going to kind of stick with the peds for now?
That's a good question. You're actually the third or fourth person to ask me that. I would love to. I would love to have like an all encompassing platform where any occupational therapist working with any age group could just go in and find the resources they need. At the time, though, I'm still just focusing on pediatrics. I'm still doling out a lot of resources and templates for peds specifically, but adults is something I will explore in the future.
Yeah, good. Look at this. And I remember too, when I taught pediatrics, they used to always ask me, Tanya, isn't there an online resource we could just find, like a goal bank or samples or templates or something? So where were you then? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, they always asked me that, and I really did not have anywhere to send them. They had their textbook examples, and I could give them, my examples, but they want more because, anytime you look up or research or Google anything, you don't stop with one search. You
Right.
continuously search and try to find as much as you possibly can. So I can definitely speak from my students' perspective. They were always scouring the internet, looking for resources to help them with their documentation. So I think your niche is brilliant. And is the majority of your clinicians entry level or new graduate, would you say?
Majority of them at this point, yes. I do have a lot of clinicians who are very experienced therapists, but are new to pediatrics as well. So I
Yeah.
have someone who was working in a skilled nursing facility for 20 years, but now she was in the school setting and she had absolutely no idea of what the documentation looked like. So I do have some of those as well, but most of them new grads.
Very cool. Very cool. And so, what systems and processes do you have in place? So, how do people find you? How do they find what they're looking for? How do they pay? What's your entire process look like from the time they locate your resources to the time they check out?
I do have to say I am pretty proud of this that I taught myself SEO and I am available if you do a Google search now because
Yeah.
I've had my last few inquiries have been like, oh, I did a Google search and I came across your website and I was thinking, yes.
Heck yeah.
So it's definitely my website. The word has been spreading. Also, extensive networking in the OT community. And then there's these Facebook groups. So if you guys, if there's anything to do with documentation, I know you have done that too. There's been a few people who tag me when there's any questions to do with documentation. So I've had people reaching out in that way as well.
Very cool.
I've been uploading a lot of content since the beginning on Instagram, on my Facebook group, and on LinkedIn. So I've been getting leads from social media all around. It's pretty straightforward. If you want to go in and just look at the free resources, I do have a bunch of free resources on the website.
Let me put your website
And
up actually so we can find you. There it is. Totalreport.org.
Mhm. And there's also the store at Total Report, and then there's a contact me page. So if you just want to contact me with any queries, if you want to know if this is the right thing for you, if you want to find out what are the services that I offer, although that is on my homepage, but if you just want an in-depth conversation, they can just feel free to email me at any time. Otherwise, it's pretty straightforward. The checkout is through PayPal. So you just go to the store, purchase what you need, and they're digital downloads. So they will be sent to you either immediately or within the first 12 to 14 hours.
Very cool. Very cool. So pretty much, unless they have questions,
Hmm.
it's almost passive income. You create the template once and then it's up available for them to purchase. They go in, they find what they're looking for, and or do you find that most people do want to contact you and ask questions? Do you have anybody that just is like, yep, this is what I need, check out?
Many like that, actually.
Oh, that's
Many of those have just been, oh, I need that manual. Oh, it says school
amazing.
based OT. Perfect. I'm just going to take that manual or clinic based OT. But I have had some queries where people want bundles.
Mhm.
So they want something. There was a clinic owner who contacted me and she wanted bundles for her group of OTs. It's actually a budding clinic. So she does have a lot of new grads come in. So she wanted daily notes, progress notes, an OT eval, a parent questionnaire. So I don't have those bundles customized because everyone's needs are so different.
Yeah.
But if they contact me personally, then I can just customize the bundle for them. And then that's how they can just purchase it.
Very cool. Very cool. How you said you kind of find them on LinkedIn and social media networks. Do you use email marketing at all?
No, that is something I don't. I have been wanting to get into it. I just feel like I need to learn a little bit more about it. And I know you have to be consistent with your email marketing, and the timing is what matters. So I just need to get all those T's crossed and my I's dotted about email marketing, but I am not there yet.
So I'm going to take a coaching moment here. I hope you don't mind.
Sure, no.
So because you already have an established website, if you created a pop-up with a lead generation piece, so it could be, a documentation checklist, intake form, whatever you want it to be, something, you don't want to give too much away, but something of value. And,
Mhm.
if you want this sent directly to your inbox, they go into the pop-up, put in their email, their first name, it automatically generates into your email software, whatever you use. And it's saved, unless they unsubscribe, it's saved forever. And then they get the free and they get the value. And then anytime you add a resource, anytime you have a sale, you create a bundle, anything like that, you have access to them as somebody who A, wants to hear from you because they signed up on your email list, and B, might already be a customer because if they signed up, they might have saw something they
That's
wanted to
true.
purchase. And
Mhm.
it doesn't have to be, something that you do every single day. I mean, most people they kind of don't want to hear from you every single day. So it could be a
Mhm.
monthly or a bi-weekly or however you want to do it. Just keep adding value and sending them. A lot of people have success with like series. So like here's a series for how to document sensory processing disorders. So here's tip one, here's tip two, here's tip three. And it just keeps them engaged.
That's
And it
perfect.
aligns you as an expert and an authority and somebody who consistently adds value to their inbox. And that's how you build your email list. And the one thing I love about an email list is you own it.
That's
So
true.
today, for example, actually the other day, I've been having issues with Facebook. I got a warning on my news feed the other day because I was scrolling too quickly.
What?
Yeah, and it said if I broke the community rules again, I might be locked out, or I forget what the exact wording was,
Is
which
that
was
even a
just
thing?
which was just a reminder that this platform is not mine and they can change the rules anytime they want, but your
Hmm.
email list is yours. That's your
That's
list of
true.
customers. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can change the rules. Melissa Lapointe says that's your playground.
Yeah,
If you're
that's
on
so
LinkedIn,
true.
which I love, I love LinkedIn, or your Facebook or Instagram, that's somebody else's playground. You got to play by their rules. So that is the one really great benefit of an email list is that it belongs to you and nobody's switching your algorithms or, punishing you for scrolling too quickly.
That's another thing. Just learning about how interested are people exactly.
Mhm.
So I do have a people who reached out, repeatedly. So I know, of course, the interest lies there. But just be able to gauge the interest from a one-time consumer. That okay, I see that you bought the manual. How interested would you be in hearing from me periodically? I think that's what's something that's holding me back. But like you said, I mean, people always have the option to unsubscribe if
Yep.
you feel it's getting too much. But since I know that they do have an interest in documentation, in learning about it, or purchasing
Mhm.
things related to it, that would be a good start. So thank you
Yeah.
for
And then
sharing.
you could even categorize them. So you could have like people who bought the guides, people who bought the checklist, people who bought, and then exactly kind of the sector of documentation that they're interested in. And you know, tailor your copy in your emails to their needs and then just send out to
Mhm.
different tags. That's, you tag them as a category. So yeah, I encourage you to explore that a little bit more and even add just a pop up to your website that says, hey, if you want to continue, or if you want a documentation tip sent to your inbox one time a week, subscribe to my email list and something
That
like that.
sounds amazing. Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's what I do. All right, let's see. And we talked about your niche, how you determined your niche because of your background and feel very strong about your pediatric documentation skills.
yeah, and I just I was helping so many people as an OT mentor. I was an OT mentor for a couple companies that I worked for, and I felt that a lot of the therapists needed help with documentation.
Mhm.
Treatment skills, they were okay. They didn't need as much hand holding, even if they were a new grad. You kind of figure it out, you've learned about it. But documentation was something that where they needed most mentoring or most supervision for. I would get a lot of reports like, hey, can you just read that for me? Can you just make sure everything's okay? Have I included everything?
How do I say this? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, sometimes you might be a brilliant therapist, but just putting those thoughts on paper might not exactly be something that you're comfortable with.
Mhm.
And I was also working with a lot of foreign educated therapists for whom
Mhm.
English was a second language. So that's where I felt like there was so much more value added to
Yeah.
this mentoring.
There's so many different ways, like as you grow and
Mhm.
expand this, there's so many different directions. You could even do documentation coaching, you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
documentation audits, and they could, send you their notes, take out all the personal identifiers and be like, how could I improve this? Or I got reimbursement refused for this documentation note. How can I make it
exactly.
better? That kind of stuff. And then you could go to not only just clinicians, but clinic owners, rehab companies. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a lot of
The,
growth
the scope, yeah,
opportunities.
the scope is tremendous.
Yeah, very, very much. What was the hardest part about starting this business, would you say?
I think the hardest part was to get people to believe in me and my work because just identify myself as an industry leader or an expert in documentation. Why would anybody come to Total Report and buy a template? Or why would they buy the manual? Or why would they believe in me when I would tell them that I can offer amazing mentoring or, I can coach you or I can correct your reports? So I think just getting people to trust in me and to believe in me, I think once I overcame that hurdle, it just seemed like it was just flowing.
Good,
But
good. That's great.
I think what people want to hear is not what you know, but how you can help them.
Yeah, people don't care about what you know. They don't care about the letters
Exactly.
behind your name. They care about what you can do for them and how you can solve a problem. So, yeah,
Exactly.
if they're struggling with documentation, they want to know how you're going to fix it and make it better
Mhm.
and make their life easier. And a lot of
Exactly.
people do kind of miss that point in sales. They talk too much about themselves and
Hmm.
not to the client or to the client's struggles, which really is the key to sales. It's just speaking to them in a way that resonates with them and value and adds value to the transformation that you are bringing to them. So, are you
Exactly.
collecting testimonials, Kripa?
I should actually be. I do have a couple, but I should be
Right
adding.
on your website. Yeah, right
Yeah.
on the homepage. This is what my
Mhm.
customers are saying. Yep. People love social proof.
Yeah.
Amazon did that to us. We don't ever purchase anything without going down to the reviews. And so we've been very accustomed to looking for social proof to kind of validate our decision to purchase. So yeah, definitely start, collecting those, and even a follow-up email. I saw that you purchased the
Mhm.
manual, what were your thoughts? I'd love to hear how I can improve, or what you liked, what you didn't like, and then ask them if you can share it on the website. So,
That is
I love
true.
the resource. Great. Can I put it on my website? It helps me build my following, or, people love supporting small businesses, and OTs love supporting OTs too.
Yes, for sure. I mean, I've learned that the OT community is so close knit. I love being a part of it.
Yeah, there's so much cross promotion. Like, I try to promote you as much as I can. And so I feel like, yeah, people really like supporting each other.
Mhm.
What's the best part of being an entrepreneur in this space as an OT?
I think the flexibility.
Mhm.
There's so many advantages, but I think if I had to pick one, it would definitely have to be the flexibility, the time that I get to devote to my children. So my daughter just started kindergarten in August, and I haven't missed a single outing or a single occasion. I was there
That's
for her
good, right?
first recital. I was there for Halloween. I was there for her Valentine's Day celebration, her Olympics. And you just feel like you are able to do what you want and devote time to your family. So you don't
Mhm.
have to pick between either.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah.
flexibility, of course, is amazing. And then I just get to explore my own creativity in so many ways, in any way that I want to. So I'm not, um, there's no boundaries for me. It's
Yeah.
not that I'm working in a place where, this is my job description and this is what I'm doing. I just feel that this gives you an avenue to explore your aspirations. What did you want to do? What do you feel you're good at? And there's just nobody stopping you.
hmm Yeah, I love that. I love everything you just said, and I totally agree. And especially with the way you've taken writing and turned it into a business, is that there's such a avenue for passive income, and there's nothing better than waking up and making money while you were sleeping.
Oh, that's the best
That's the
feeling ever.
best feeling ever.
Yes, when I wake up and I see my emails, oh, you have purchases. It's like,
hmm
yeah, give this to
Yes,
me.
100%. And now, what softwares or systems, or how are you creating your templates?
So majority of my templates are created on Canva. And I do use a little bit of PowerPoint sometimes, though not too much. I do have a lot of resource videos that I used Vimeo for. I like the templates that they had and kind of, how they move from one slide to the next, just kind of
Mhm.
the transitions and the effects. I use Google Drive to just organize all my documents in one place. Evernote for project management. I know there's so many new ones out there now, and I'm kind of stuck in the old times, it feels. But I had a colleague when I was working in the schools, and she swore by Evernote, and I've been using it ever since. So I know now, there's Asana and Trello and all these new ones, which I might be exploring soon. But just have all my stuff on Evernote,
Mhm.
and it's so easy. It's so intuitive. I can insert attachments, pictures, it just makes it so easy for me to track everything. It's all in one place. So these three are my go-tos: Google Drive, Canva, and Evernote.
Very nice. Very nice. So we use ClickUp, but
Mhm.
use what works. So if Evernote is working for you and you know it, and it's like the back of your hand, then keep on going
Yeah,
on with that self.
it's
Yeah.
just what makes it easier for you, right?
Yeah,
If you're familiar with
definitely.
it, why not?
And if you're watching now, or you're catching the replay and you're like, what the heck is email marketing? What the heck is Canva? What are you talking about, project management software? I have trainings for all three of those things in Teachable. So you can just go through the training resources, and there's a video for each of those. And I go through each one. I even have a video for finding and discovering your niche too. If you're kind of like, ooh, I want to write, but I'm not sure who my audience is or what to say. There's a video about aligning and finding clarity with your niche too. So check those resources out. And Krupa, is there anything else that you want to share with aspiring writers, or people who are, they want to write, but they're afraid to put themselves out there, and they might be experiencing a little bit of imposter syndrome because, that rears its ugly head, even if you've been doing this for a while, like I have, it still pops up every once in a while. So what advice would you leave with them?
I would tell people definitely, first of all, even if you don't know what your niche is, figure out what you're passionate about. What is something that you feel you are so good at that you can talk about for hours on end? What is something that, how do you feel you can bring value to somebody else's work or their day? Is it going to be documentation? Is it going to be, coaching in some other way? Are you going to be helping them out? How do you think you can make a difference? And I think that's where once you start talking to people, you get so many ideas, you get so much feedback. I
Mhm.
think networking is so important because before I started this, I bounced this idea off of so many therapists. And these are my close friends. So I didn't want their opinions to be biased. So I
Mhm.
also, just asked a couple of people who weren't, in my close circle, and I just asked them what they felt about it. And I think when you get feedback from people, so just talk about it. Don't be afraid to,
Put it
no
out there.
idea
Yeah.
is a bad idea. Yeah, don't be afraid to put it out there because what you think is, silly or it may be trivial, it might be super important to someone else.
Mhm.
So maybe I thought, well, who wants to know how to write a soap note? You have the information on Google, you can find it out, but you'd be surprised to see how many therapists have wanted training for soap notes because what's clear to you might not be clear to them.
Right. Yeah, what comes naturally to you doesn't come naturally to somebody else. And I think we
Exactly.
don't realize that if
Hmm.
something comes really easily to us, we think that it's something that comes easily to everybody. And that's just not the case at all. We are all full of special gifts.
Exactly.
And recognizing them and sharing them, I feel like that's why we were put here to share our
Yeah.
gifts with everybody.
And
So
there's definitely something that that is going to set you apart from the others.